A few months ago, I was sitting in a convenience store with my nephew when something surprisingly small ended up changing the way I think about money completely. He had a handful of coins in his hand, and he already knew exactly what he wanted. He kept looking up at the snack shelf, then down at the price tag, then back at the coins in his palm again. Over and over. But he never picked anything up. He just stood there frozen, like his brain suddenly stopped working. And honestly, the moment lasted maybe 15 seconds. But for some reason, it stayed with me for days afterward. Because while I was watching him stand there confused about money, I realized I used to feel exactly the same way. Nobody had ever really taught me how money worked either. I learned through mistakes, through wasting money on things I thought would make me happy, through impulse purchases I regretted almost immediately, through slowly realizing that earning money and managing money are two completely different skills. And the uncomfortable truth is that most people never actually learn the second one. They just get older and hope experience magically teaches them. Sometimes it does. A lot of the time, it doesn't. That moment sent me down a rabbit hole about how different cultures teach children about money. And eventually I came across something fascinating in Japan. Japanese children as young as 6 years old are often given real responsibility over their own money. Not fake classroom exercises, not monopoly money. Real decisions, real consequences. And the system behind it is so simple that once you hear it, you'll probably wonder why nobody taught it to you when you were younger. It starts with a word, Okozukai. It basically means pocket money or allowance, but the philosophy behind it is much deeper than just giving a child spending money every week. In many Japanese households, children receive a fixed amount either weekly or monthly. And once they receive it, the parents step back completely. The child decides what to buy, what to save, what matters. And if they spend everything too quickly, that's it. No emergency refill, no secret bailout because they look disappointed, no extra money because they made a bad choice. At first, when I read this, I honestly thought it sounded a little harsh. I thought it would create stress or anxiety, but the more I looked into it, the more I realized the entire system is actually built on something very different. Trust. Without even saying it directly, the parent is communicating something incredibly important to the child. I trust you to figure this out yourself. And children change when they feel trusted. That's the part I think most people miss. A lot of financial education in the West feels overly controlled. Adults constantly intervene, constantly correct, constantly rescue children from consequences before the lesson actually lands emotionally. But the Japanese approach often allows the child to experience small mistakes early when the stakes are tiny. Spending all your money on candy at age 7 feels painful in the moment, but it teaches something valuable without causing real harm. The child remembers that feeling the next time they make a decision. Not because somebody lectured them, but because they experienced it directly. And honestly, experience teaches lessons that explanations never fully can. But Japanese families don't just hand children money and hope things magically work out. They often pair Okozukai with something called Kakeibo, a budgeting system created in 1904 by Hani Motoko, Japan's first female journalist. Kakeibo is basically a financial journal, but it's treated almost more like self-reflection than accounting. The idea is incredibly simple. You write down what money comes in, you write down what money goes out, you write down what you regret spending money on, and at the end of the month, you ask yourself 4 questions. How much money did I have? How much did I spend? How much did I save? How can I do better? That's it. No complicated spreadsheets, no finance jargon, just awareness. And weirdly enough, awareness is the thing most people lack. A lot of adults don't actually know where their money goes. They spend emotionally, impulsively, automatically. Then they wonder why they constantly feel financially stressed, even when they're earning decent money. What really shocked me, though, was the science behind all of this. Researchers from the University of Cambridge found that many money habits are already forming by around age 7. 7 years old. Think about how insane that is for a second. Before most children understand taxes, investing, debt, or salaries, their emotional relationship with money is already developing, which means by the time many people seriously start learning about finance as teenagers or adults, a lot of their habits are already deeply rooted. And honestly, that explains a lot, because money problems usually aren't caused by a lack of intelligence. Most people understand basic math. They know saving is important. They know overspending is bad. The problem is emotional behavior. Stress spending, impulse buying, chasing short-term satisfaction, avoiding financial discomfort. Those patterns begin early, often without people even realizing it. And I think Japan understands something many other countries don't. Money is emotional long before it's mathematical. Japan even has a concept called Mottainai, which roughly translates to "what a waste." But it isn't just a phrase people casually say. It's more like a feeling of discomfort when something valuable gets wasted carelessly. Money, food, time, effort. The idea is that things carry value beyond just their price tag. And honestly, I think that's one of the biggest differences. A lot of people grow up learning the cost of things without ever understanding their value. They know how expensive something is, but they don't think about the work, time, and energy connected to it. Japanese children often physically divide their Okozukai into envelopes. One portion for spending now, one portion for saving, sometimes another portion for future goals. The physical act matters because it makes money feel tangible, real. And parents openly model these decisions too. They explain why they chose one item instead of another at the grocery store. They talk about prices in front of their children. Kids learn not just from instructions, but from observation. There's even a Japanese parenting concept called Mimamoru, which roughly means watching over someone while allowing them space to grow independently. And honestly, I think that's one of the hardest things for adults to do. Watching somebody struggle slightly without immediately rescuing them. I tried a small version of this myself with my younger sibling. Every week, I gave her a fixed amount of money with no restrictions on what she could spend it on. The only rule was that she had to write everything down. At first, it went terribly. She spent almost all of it immediately, and then came back frustrated halfway through the week asking for more money. And honestly, every instinct in me wanted to help her. I wanted to make the discomfort disappear, but I didn't. The next month, something interesting started happening. Tiny pauses before purchases, tiny moments of hesitation, tiny moments of thought. And eventually, after a few months, she saved enough money to buy something she'd wanted for nearly a year, completely by herself. And I still remember the look on her face afterward because it genuinely surprised me. It wasn't excitement, it wasn't relief. It was pride, real pride, the kind that only appears when someone understands they earned something themselves through patience and self-control. And I think that's what this entire system is actually trying to teach. Not fear of spending money, not restriction, not turning children into robots obsessed with saving every dollar, just awareness. Because the child who spends all their money on candy isn't punished or shamed. They simply run out. And next month, they remember what that felt like. That's the lesson. Not lectures, not guilt, experience. Honestly, sometimes I wonder how different my own relationship with money would have been if someone had handed me a small envelope when I was 6 years old and simply said, "This is yours. Decide wisely." Maybe I would have learned earlier that money isn't really about numbers. It's about attention, patience, trade-offs, understanding the difference between temporary satisfaction and lasting value. And maybe that's why this Japanese system stuck with me so deeply. Because underneath all the budgeting methods and cultural ideas, it's really teaching something much bigger: responsibility, self-awareness, intentionality. So maybe try this sometime. If you have a child in your life, give them a small, fixed amount of money and let them manage it themselves. Let them make small mistakes while the consequences are still small. And honestly, even if you're an adult, maybe try Kakeibo yourself for a month. Write down what comes in. Write down what goes out. Write down what you regret buying. Then ask yourself one simple question at the end of the month. How can I do better? Not with shame, not with guilt, just honestly. Because maybe the most important financial lesson isn't learning how to make more money. Maybe it's learning how to think before you spend the money you already have.